Hello, I just watched 2025's The Long Walk. And yes, it's very Stephen King. There's been some Stephen King adaptations that I've quite liked. Stand By Me, which, group of boys on a journey. The Shawshank Redemption's kind of corny, but very enjoyable, very rewatchable. Like The Stand, the TV adaptation, which is very corny, but in kind of an Old Testament-y kind of way. I really enjoyed that. I found The Long Walk. The good thing is the cast. The young guys that they got for the cast are really solid. Really, they imbue what are pretty stock characters, full of kind of life and personality, until they get overwhelmed by the script. Mark Hamill is being heavy, and he's got that kind of gravelly voice, and he's barking all these platitudes, and you just definitely despise him. So, good job there. But there's a point where we find out what the fate of the kind of co-lead his father, what happens to him, which is just like, oh, okay, well, it kind of shrunk the world down for me. Suddenly it's supposed to be fable-like, but it's just like, oh, the major is everywhere apparently, and kind of sets up the really unsatisfying, kind of really unrealistic, unrealistic, just unsatisfying ending, at least of the movie. I don't know what the novella that King wrote back in the thing, how much this has been changed, but it's unsatisfying, and there's just a lot of corn-fed philosophizing for like, choose love, which is just like, ugh. It's a very, very politically naive story, and just fake in the sense of, nobody fucking believes this. The filmmakers don't fucking believe this, that kind of sense. It's like you get so idealistic, and so not idealistic. You get so Mary Sunshine that's like, this is it rounds its way to cynical and unbelievable, and betrays kind of the really good acting of the young guys here. So very watchable. It's guys walking along the road, and if you fall below a certain pace, you get shot in the fucking head, and there can only be one at the end. This is directed by Lawrence Francis or something like that. He directed, I think, second, third maybe of the fourth of the Hunger Games, and directs it really well. Gets all the kind of it doesn't feel like it's cheap, though. The digital blood, it's funny, digital blood has been there for a long time. They still just cannot get digital blood right, and I'm sure it's safer or cheaper than squibs. Like, I don't want actors to be in danger, but man, it's like, okay, that's digital blood. Never has that the visceral kind of chunky, liquidy feel. Doing digital liquid of blood seems to be extremely hard, and very rarely, something that's the thing. But if that was the only problem of the movie, that would not be a thing. But yeah, so wow, a lot of young actors to watch. Alien Romulus, black guy, the guy who's the kind of the starting character at the beginning. He's also someone definitely to watch. There's just definitely a lot of like good young guys in there, and there's just something about young men today, and this is in some ways I know it's supposed to be an allegory for the Vietnam War, but there's something about young men walking and bonding, which in that in itself, I can see why people have really kind of glommed onto this movie as something, as like, young guys, not like ripping each other to shreds. There's a little bit of that, but of supporting each other, of friendship, of brotherhood, in a positive way under adversity, though ironically under a patriarchy, which maybe in itself is maybe that's why it's resonated, because it's young men suffering under patriarchy, like how much it fucks them up, this horrible male, an ultimate toxic male thing of, bring us your young guys and we're gonna march, put them on a death march and shoot them in the head as a way to make people not lazy. It's like how toxically vile, wrong kind of a political male macho kind of system can you get represented by the Major. So it's got that going for it. I just wish it wasn't so hokum. Oh, and the ending, I found I think that's a Stephen King ending, which is just a lame ending. I didn't find it that it particularly connected with characters, except, well, of all the forced false speeches that they made along the way. I guess if I bought into the forced false speeches that they suddenly go into, then I would believe the ending, but I didn't believe those speeches, so I didn't believe the ending. All right, I'm going to leave it there. More videos later. That is the long walk, 2025.